We live? Checking in to see if it is live and true. And I'm not seeing the signal coming through yet. I'm looking for it. I'm not seeing it. There it is. I think we're live. Not seeing it. There it is. Haha! Success. Let me make this quieter so you don't have to listen to me echo into my own. It's not like I have an echo chamber enough to have like a literal echo chamber. Enough to have like a literal echo chamber. Enough to have like a literal. All right, I won't torment you anymore. But yeah, the fact that us small streamers often are just shouting into the void, I particularly like that. So I'm just futzing with my volume here for a second. Yeah, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them, and I publish them here online. I focus my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 7-ish years, and I've been playing in the Eberron campaign setting like for the past 20-ish, 17 years maybe. And I've been using Spelljammer since, I guess, 92. And Planescape, I guess that came in like around 1994. So those are the Eberron, Planescape, Spelljammers, like my trifecta of campaign settings in the D&D chain of editions that have stood the test of time as places I've deemed worthy of staying around. And now that 5th edition has gotten around to having all 3 of them published, I get to mix and match them and build things that I can publish on the DMsGuild. There's a slew of books that I have down below that you can check out. They all have free previews, so if you want to check out some of the stuff that I have down there, like here you're looking on the book cover of the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document that I built that's inspiring Warforged Machines as well as Battle over Vocath. So yeah, check that stuff out if you think it's cool, and people buy books. It encourages me to make more. So if you read the book and you want to read more books, then buy the book that encouraged you to that made you want to think you want to see more. And while you're at it, since I'm pontificating about myself, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications. Yeah. This book cover here. That's if you click more. The full playlist of all the stuff we've been streaming is here. Here's Spelljammer Combat Exploration on DMsGuild. We're still playtesting the martial power system. During the week, I'm going to be working on revising the power system. We had some playtesting at level 3 and 4. There was some standouts that I didn't like, and I got some really killer feedback from the playtest team. So I'm going to be happy to punt them a copy of it once it's published for free as a thank you for participating in that. But this is Vocath's, it might not look like it, but this is Vocath's base from Light as Araxis. It's a 500-foot floating arena with a luxury tower attached to it. It happens to fit inside of a 500-foot square. So if you know my system, and if you're here, you probably do, then you know that each of these squares, 10 by 10 space at the 50-foot scale, that's a 500-foot square. This Vocath's base sits in that space. But as you can see, we've got claws, legs, and a sort of crabby lobster sort of thing going on here. Because we transform the base, all these crystals drop out and then become the legs and claws and stuff of this battle crab. So this is a 500-foot battle crab. This is the largest size vessel using the combat and exploration mechanics that I put on DMsGuild. This is the largest size ship that can be operated with a single spelljamming helm. So, and as you can see from the past couple weeks, I was out. We had pneumonia here at the house, so I was out all last week. I'm still hawking stuff up, so don't mind me if I get into a coughing spurt, but I wanted to get back online. And so we spent last week building dormitories, kitchen, storage, mess area, commons room, all the little amenities. Again, these are 50-foot squares, so every 2 pixels is essentially a foot. So we had that all scaled out, and then we got the interior here for engineering storage, as well as this is a conveyor belt that crushes rocks. So characters could theoretically sneak in this way if they wanted to, if they were willing to, do the Galaxy Quest challenge of not getting smashed and ground into small pieces. Which this is what these are. These are trebuchet-sized stones that are heaping here at the end of the conveyor belt. This thing will just basically glom onto an asteroid and just basically chomp and just grind through it with its grindy teeth here at the front end. And once it catches a grip, it just starts like a shredder. It just pulls it in and just grinds up the rocks. And by the time they get to the end of the conveyor belt, they're the size of trebuchet stones. And those trebuchet stones are lifted out of this pit by these automated claws. They're animated with the animation spell, so you can direct them, hey, when the trebuchet is empty, pick up a stone and put it in an empty trebuchet. So this thing can eventually refuel or refit all of these trebuchets that are also animated to obey commands when ordered to do so using our command system. So these things can fire basically as a command for whomever is piloting the ship, which of course is Vocath. So that's kind of what we had done last week. But some interesting events for myself that came up is the team finished their adventure today in my Eberron orbital mining belt campaign. So I think I just want to do a little bit of doodling right now. They've chosen a military objective for their next mission, which means they're going to be flying around in Dwarven Warforged fighter craft, fighting Aeronel elves in the orbit around Eberron, competing for precious metals and crystals amongst the tiers of Sybaris. So that's a cool campaign, but they haven't used. They've only been doing asteroid delves, so they've never actually had a chance to. This is the first opportunity for them to do space battle stuff as characters in fighter ships. So right now I am just doodling some mecha design ideas that see the if you've stuck around and you know the channel and you've been following the development of the Warforged Machines document, it's pretty simple. There's the tech isn't that complicated. It's basically feats, races, magic items, and vehicles, and then options on how to further kit out those vehicles. And they're all basically war titans and spirit warriors and various fighter craft, and it's basically war mecha that are piloted essentially by docents. So this isn't a new idea. Keith Baker explored this already in one of his articles in the past, but I didn't know about it until after I started working on the idea. So I credit myself for it, though I'm glad to see that Keith agrees with me. That makes me very happy. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of how to posture these things. But right now I'm just thinking about Dwarven Mecha. I don't need to kill myself on detail right now. I'm just looking for vague frame ideas. And the thing about dwarves is that they are stout and waddly. So I'm thinking if dwarves are making machines for Warforged to be able to operate that can also accommodate gnomes as a small size creature, we're dealing with large size or larger machines. So I want to think about what kind of mass and bulk do I want on these. Basically like glorified loaders. I don't like that posture though, so I'm going to try something different. You don't destroy, you just make it go away. So I'm going to be here. Like that. You know, we started doing Warforged Mecha back in 3rd edition, and they were just 10 and 15 feet tall. It wasn't nearly as developed or technical a system as what I had put together for 5th edition, but its roots are pretty long. So I'm really happy with how 5e turned out. But it's it was the first design we had. It was a switch. It was a kickback knee like this. Like this is basically what its profile was. Draxus, one of my 3E companions and fellow DMs during 3rd edition when I lived in Arizona. His character's name was Draxus, and that's what ended up becoming his tag, like on Coder and WoW and wherever it is that he hangs out, but became his tag sign. So I'm proud of been part of his gaming history in that sense, and we both learned how to run high level 3rd edition campaign, like epic level campaigns. So we trained each other up. So Drax is a pretty badass dude. But this is the basic design that I gave him for Draxus when he gained his first mecha. It was something similar to this. This actually kind of has an owl motif going on that I'm actually kind of digging on. But I mean the language. The problem I'm having right now is that there really isn't a ton of technical specifications that need to change the statistics of any particular war golem that's created. It's a very simple design system, and it's as time goes on, I could develop more ornate systems, like get really deep into it, like Lancer is. Lancer is 4th edition with intense amount of details and tons of options to customize your thing to do specific high-end action economy type war game simulator role-playing games where your role is basically a pilot who never gets out of his ship and fights a shitload of mecha. And I've played those campaigns before in Robotech, because I used to play Palladium Robotech, and it was, I'd say Palladium was maybe as complicated as Pathfinder, but maybe as complicated as 4E is. And I gotta tell you, man, it got boring. It got really, really boring. I found that I wanted to have the ability to have mecha in my games as a fallback to violence, like a means for military to like really escalate things when shit gets called out. Like having mecha and warships and fast-moving Spelljammer combat fighters, like that puts you in a place where you actually have military as an option in your campaign. But it's just like, it's basically ornate mounted combat. So like after you've like had 3 or 4 battles on the back of a dragon flying against other flying creatures in the sky, it's just like, okay, well, yeah, we can do one of those, I guess. It's just another battle. So it's just another type of battle you can add to the repertoire of tasks that you have your team perform to break up the monotony of climbing from level 1 to 20. So it's like you have to have variety, and honestly, there's not a lot of variety in playing Missile Tag with Veritech. If you integrate exploration and traps and environmental stuff into your mecha games, so it really just feels like you have just like very large sized characters, then you're going to be fine. And that's been more of the focus that I've been attempting to push with this 5th edition reimagining. But currently I'm just building a side view, and then we've been here like, what is this, 1 2 3 4 5, so 1 2 3 4, perfect, 3 4 5, be like that here, like this, putting my CAD skills to use a little bit. So I'm having a short session today because I've been sick and I don't want to push myself too long. But so I'm going to be back tomorrow at lunchtime as I do. And I believe I'll be here. I think I'm going to be here on Wednesday too. I'm not 100% what my schedule is like on Wednesday. Tuesday lunch and Wednesday lunch, we're going to work on martial powers and we're going to work on Spelljammer subclasses. Probably Tuesday and Wednesday. Whatever word I'm looking for, both of those, like martial powers tomorrow and then Spelljammer subclasses on Wednesday. And then on Thursday night, we'll be back doing stuff like this again. So all I really need to do is just start building out different mecha. But my deadline for my home game campaign is I have to have Dwarven Fightercraft and military type tokens for the team to be able to fly around the Tears of Sybaris hunting, well, basically hunting elves. So not unlike the anime, but with more clothing. If you know, you know. Big old blocky legs there, like that. And then we just get rid of this half because this other one is the better looking half. So we copy paste, transform, flip horizontal now, baby. Well, that's a cool little pattern. I didn't expect to see that face crotch. Scary. Let's, I want to actually... That'll do. Cool. So let's merge those. Get those cleared out. And then we can take this. Oops. Yes, that's how we wanted. Merge these things down. Thank you. And then we clip that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Here. So we can take pieces of this overlap. It's since I'm taking these two halves, you just saw me do it, right? So if I take these two halves and I overlap them across each other, it's still using the same line language that we've already established in this body's frame. So anything that we extract from that is automatically going to be complementary to what's inside of that form. You can't not be in style if all you're doing is taking chunks of the current style and then shuffling and then rebuilding them together. So we're kind of kit bashing off of our own kit. So I'm going to, yeah, see, look at this guy. He's just sitting here waiting for us. So I'm going to do this. Let's do it like this. Copy. Paste. Actually, I want to keep that. I like that. Don't need that. I want to keep all that. see all that complexity that just gets integrated in. It's nice. Really, really nice. Bring that down a bit. Here a bit. So we can take that and we can merge that down too. See, now we have a face on this guy. And a cool little insignia thing going on here. God, look at that. It's like a giant demon face that's kind of like sitting on his chest. So I think I want to raise that up a bit. Fuck, that's cool. Now I'm gonna go from here. Nice. Good solution. Bring that in. Looking pretty clean. We got these lines that just naturally fold together here. God damn, this dude's hoss. These dragon horns are just wrapping around his shoulder frames. God damn, that's fucking cool. What a boss. Holy crap. Project Terror over here. This is awesome. Build that out like that. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can always take whichever half we like the most. So once we decide which half we like the most, we just focus in on that half. So I'm going to drop this down a touch. God, love that. That's so cool. I actually have some elevation here that I can play with. So I'm going to grab this here. Yeah, like that. Just fill up the space that they have available to them. Oh yeah, that definitely stabilized this thing. We're going to do this. And we're going to do it over here too. Like that. And then we're going to use the free transform, the perspective tools. Pull these out like that. That's pretty good. Much sturdier. Like that and that. That feels pretty good. Overall, that feels pretty good. I think this half is starting to shape up better than the right, but we'll keep messing around. Oops. Let's grab this and see what I do need to do. Let's peel this off. Yeah, no. Bad angle. $25-foot anvil. That is a decent great maul. It's a great maul. I'm gonna stub it up a bit, just make it a hammer. It might end up being an axe. I'm not sure what it wants to be yet. For now, it seems like it wants to be a hammer. His head's crooked though. Transform. Boom, 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 boom. My God, that's a big hammer. Alright, let's see how this thing can, what we can potentially do with this. That seems like that fits pretty nicely, so I'm just going to grab this chunk right here. Drop it in here. Free transform is flip horizontal now. See, just immediately just, It looks like mush when you get really close to it, but when you're backing away from it, it looks like there's stuff going on. It's kind of Warhammer-y. I like it. Warhammerage is good. It's hemorrhaging. Yeah, it was horrible. It's cool. I feel like his noggin. Down a bit. Five by five. It's not perfect, but it's a decent little 15-degree angle. Let's see what is left here for us to build on. I want to build on that arm a bit. Let's see if there's anything that just meshes there. Wait. I see it. You see it? Feels like it's the shoulder area here now. That is the most simplified, but can afford to be the most ornate. So let's grab this, pull it up. This, duplicate the layer, free transform, flip horizontal, kick it over, We can always reduce intensity later. So what we got going on? I mean, yeah, that's literally what we got going on up here. So probably what I want to do is transform. Let's just clunk it over a bit, see what new things can pop open. There it is. We can bring that a little bit more out like that. Trim that down. Paste, free transform, flip horizontal. Bloop. Kick on down. Down, bring that up to 100% opacity, then merge that down. It's starting to feel a little bit too wide. How are you doing on time? You got about 15 minutes left. That's just fine today. Good. Where's that down? That's a tanky, thick boy. That's a thick door. What happens if I go in here and free transform, skinny that up a touch or two. Erase that entire block. I don't need it. Transform. Flip horizontal. He's looking pretty hoss. You can see how easy it is just to create symmetry. So I'll just choose one of these halves, and then I'll be able to focus down on that one. And then we got a decent little piece of mecha. Some high quality, ridiculous detail front end looking mecha. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at lunchtime. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll do, let's see, I go to work at 8. So I'll be on before 7. We'll go for 6:45. See if I can push myself up a little bit more. It's kind of so cool. And I can have that ridge pattern on the horns. I can have that be a recurring theme across the armor. Just have this ridge effect going on. I like that. What a badass. That was fun. I enjoyed. So yeah, there's a tanky dwarf mecha that still work in progress, but I'll probably just take this half. Transform. Flip horizontal now, baby. Looks cool. We'll go with that. That's cool. So let's take that. Make sure to shrink it down so it fits inside the space. There. Feels pretty dwarfy. Only problem is it feels a little pigeon-toed. Work in progress. It's looking good though. I'm digging it. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna let that guy sit there. So we're gonna go with we'll call this one Dwarven War Golem. And let's work on that fighter craft. Oh, I still have a few minutes left. See. I'm kind of digging this. Reminds me of, if you've seen that sci-fi show, Lex. Kind of reminds me of a stubby Lex. But it's supposed to be a hammer. I don't know if that's coming through or not. But that is that was the vague design goal, hammer. The idea here is that this is an excavation claw that can be equipped and used kind of like a scorpion tail, but it can, you know, go around down here and scoop like this and thump. with the general idea that these are basically mining vehicles that have been modified to have weapon systems on them. So they're not like military grade machinery. It's more like the A-Team came through and built something cool out of your excavation equipment. So they aren't particularly powerful, but they aren't they aren't very expensive either. So and these are little grippy claws to move rocks and stuff. More grippy claws down here. Take that out here to here. Claw things here. Got a gun pod here and here. That, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Actually, this feels. I bet this is right. Steam shovel scoop on the back. Kind of like an awkward seal more than anything else, almost like a walrus. Transform and flip horizontal now, baby. I feel we can get that up. That feels more like the design we were looking for. I like it. Merge down. Hey, how about that? 9 o'clock. All right, I'm liking this thing, man. This is cool. All right, so I'll be back tomorrow morning. We're going to continue working on the Ebron sinkhole map that we're doing for the Mabar adventure in Carnwood. So far, so good. Well, we're having some fun now. Let's just keep at this, and I'm gonna have to spend some time probably on Friday thinking about the campaign, because I have to have a fighter ship challenge ready for them hunting for space elves on Monday. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's it, guys. I will catch you on the other side. Thanks a lot, anyone checking this stuff out. Again, if you think this stuff is cool, drop down below. All my books are listed there. You can read all of them. 100% free preview on DMsGuild. If you like the books that I have and you want to make more books, the way to get me to make more books is to buy the books that you read that you like. So consider that, like, subscribe, and catch me on Discord. You can catch the link to that down below too. Later, guys.